Hello and welcome to Ken's Garage. This is a video log about a car that I started working on in 2016. So I wanted to share that and some of the progress I've done and basically what it's all about. So a few years ago, probably 2016, 2015, I was looking for a two-seater car, specifically a Vette, late 60s, early 70s that I could fix up. And as I looked, I really couldn't find anything that was worth it. Most of them are pretty expensive and some of them need quite a bit of work. And not to mention, there's quite a few people with Vettes. So as I was looking, I stumbled upon this company called Factory 5 out of Massachusetts. And basically, anybody that looks at cars may know them. They build Cobra replicas. As I looked at it, I really got more interested in this car called an 818 or 818. Now 818 means 818 kilos, or about 2,000 pounds is what the weight of the car will finally be with the engine, transmission, everything in it. So basically I went ahead and bought the 818. So what Factory 5 provides is the entire frame, the instructions, all the pieces you need. But then you also have to buy a donor car, and the donor car that goes in there is the Subaru WRX. WRX is basically a pretty fast car, small sedan, four-seater typically, and usually has a pretty powerful turbo in there. It weighs about 3,500 pounds. So basically you take all those Subaru components out, the engine, transmission, the braking system, steering column, and other parts, and you basically take those parts and put them together with the Factory 5 parts to create this 818, which comes out to be about 2,000 pounds. Now this car will be pretty fast when it's done without any real additions to the engine. So I started working on it. I got the kit around 2016, mid-2016, and had pretty much the engine, transmission, and the full chassis running. So I could drive around the neighborhood, no body installed, no interior, and I could drive around the neighborhood. Problem is as we moved in early 2017, we did a refurb on the house. Work kept me busy. I was traveling quite a bit. And then I also built this garage. So up until now, I haven't really been able to work on it with any major progress, but lately I've spent pretty much every day working on it. So what I want to do is share where I'm at, kind of take you through the progress, what the car is about. We'll do this in a three or four part series. So today will be really what's the current status, where am I at, what am I working on next. Next we'll take a look at when pretty much the body's all put together and where it's at, and then I'll do a final walkthrough when the car's totally done, kind of give you an overview of everything, and then we'll do a drive. I'll take it out for a drive and you'll get to see how the car operates. Here's a picture of the Subaru WRX donor car the day of delivery. I purchased it from a junkyard in Las Vegas and I had it shipped to Idaho. While it may look like it was in fairly bad shape in this picture, the functional car parts were in good shape and everything was pretty well intact. In this picture, the Factory 5 delivery truck is delivering the 818 in May of 2016. The car was transported from Factory 5's headquarters in Massachusetts to Idaho. This picture shows the 818 chassis and body in my garage the day of delivery. Most of the parts came in around 15 large boxes. This picture shows the chassis the first day I started to work on it in July of 2016. In the background are the Subaru donor parts that are ready to be installed. In this picture, you'll see some initial progress on the 818. This picture shows the chassis fully assembled. At this point, the car was fully functional and drivable. Here's the 818 in my garage in May of 2017 after we had moved, where it's at largely untouched until December of 2021. Okay, here's the current status of the car. We'll do a walk around. I'll show you what parts came from Factory 5, what parts came out of the Subaru. Hopefully that'll give you a better idea of the car and how it's put together. Let's start here in the front. As you look at the frame, and this is the front part of the frame, but it obviously goes all the way back. That came from Factory 5, as well as the body parts. You can see them from here, better view. They're all separate pieces. doors, top, hatch, fenders, hood. They're all separate pieces, and I just had those painted about a year ago. So now just getting to putting everything together. So as we kind of make our way back, the braking system, the wheels, the seats, the engine, which is, as you can see, is in the rear, pretty much doesn't have a trunk, so it consumes the entire back space here. And that probably gives you a better idea how big this, or how small this car actually is. All those came out of the Subaru, as well as the electrical system. I did not use the power brakes, the power steering, and the cruise control because I didn't think I'd really need it. However, I did retain the power windows, power locks, courtesy lights, and power side mirrors. And I've added some heated seats, which should be nice. And then I've also added this entertainment system, so you can barely see it here, but basically I added that in. That will have cameras, and both front and rear, and it'll have the bird's eye view camera, which will show you exactly where you're at in the parking lot, which will be pretty nice. It's been a bit of a challenge, a lot of work to get it to this point, but as I mentioned earlier, it's pretty much been running since early 2017. And I've spent a lot of time, probably in the last few months, working on the interior and body work as well. So that's been a bit of a challenge. I will share with you one of the key tools I've been using, and that is this rubber mallet. It really comes in handy on some of these parts when they're not cooperating. So hopefully that gives you a good idea where I'm at with the car, and I'll be back with an update as I get further down the road with it. Here's a bird's eye view of the car. As you can see, the engine's in the back, and it is a two-seater and pretty small interior in the car. What the car should ultimately look like. Hopefully I'm only a couple months away from this, but I'm always running into some challenge or another, but that should give you a good idea what it will look like when it's finished. Okay, this wraps up the first part of the video series about the car. I'll be back in a few weeks to show more progress. At that point, I'll pretty much have the body done. And then after that, we'll do a final walkthrough of the finished car and then a test drive. Thanks for watching.